no company wants to change unless it has to change, unless there is a sense of urgency.
Sure. Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Hello and welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Today I'm with Chen Rosen. Chen was the co-founder and CEO of two companies and led them to hundreds of millions of dollars in revenues and sold them to Fortissimo PE and Teldor Groups for tens of millions of dollars. Chen managed NCR Retalix Partners in the Asia Pacific, as well as Verint Software in Australia and New Zealand, leading it successfully to 70% market share. In the last 3 years, Chen took an active role in the Proptech industry as a board member in accelerators, invested in 4 startups, and built a reputation as a leading Proptech investor. He is also serving as a board member and consultant in several startups as well. Chen Rosen, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Thank you so much for being with me today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm really excited for this episode, Chen. Your journey is such an interesting one. Part of my research was trying to decide where we're going to be spending a lot of our time and focus over these 20 minutes. And I have to say that I'm still not totally sure, because I often find myself surprised. But I'm here with my pen and paper to learn from you and get inspired over these 20 minutes. Tell me a little bit about yourself, because and we've already read your bio to the audience here. So going through such different activities you've taken part of, right? From so many different types of roles to so many different industries. Can you connect the dots for me a little bit as to who Chen Rosen is?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that my career path actually demonstrates the fact that I'm going after my passion. And when I'm passionate about something, and something that makes me enthusiastic, I will explore it and will follow it and make sure that I understand it deeply. And I think that this is something also when I used to be in a certain place. I always every 6 months looking for something new that I can explore and get to know about. And I think that that's the reason that you can see that I was involved in many fields and roles as an entrepreneur and as an exec in the telco communication, in the Proptech industry, in the customer experience industry, and so on and so on.
In the cyber industry.
Yeah. And I'm really excited about new things, and that's the thing. There is people that really like the routine and they like to go in a certain path, which, it's for myself, I know as well, it can be easier and, less challenges, but I found it very boring. And, I'm really, one of the people that excited about new things, new technologies, new people, to meet new people from different industries and different places in the world. That's what makes me excited. And that's the reason that my bio is so, I would say, diverse.
Right. Yeah. And so traditional definitely sounds easier, but it really resonates that you're excited about these challenges. If you're looking today at what you're doing and what you get to interact with, whether it's with Reality Investment Funds or any other organization that you're a part of, what are you really excited about today, 2022? Where are you at?
I'm excited, first of all, about Proptech, because Proptech itself is it's a new thing, especially in Israel, but also in the US and in the rest of the world. So, this is definitely exciting me, and the more it's new and challenging, the more I get excited. So that the challenge is the thing that make me so, I grateful and happy that I'm part of this journey. Second, I have to admit that, the people and their founders that I meet along the way. I just came back from New York. I told you about it before. We had some breakfast with these guys and I told them that I feel so grateful to be part of this breakfast because I'm meeting people that are inspiring. They're so smart. They're so enthusiastic about what they're doing and about the way they're going to change the way we're living. And this is things that really make me feel that I'm grateful and inspired as well. So for me, people with vision and smart people that can execute this vision consistently is something that really make me excited.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your decision to focus at least a significant portion of your time and cognitive energy on Proptech. There's so many different emerging industries. Proptech is one that I'm personally excited about as well. And we have some interesting companies also out of Israel emerging in Proptech. Tell me a little bit about this industry as you've seen it evolve over the last few years and why this is something specifically that you're putting your effort into.
Yeah, I think that, the first thing is that the industry is very, I would say in the beginning, it's very young and, we can see over the last 2 or 3 years, companies that, started from prototype and the idea and evolved into now $50-60 million companies, cap value, I mean. And you can see how the founders actually took an idea and developed it into something that people are prepared to pay for. And, once you see that somebody is willing to pay for your product, you understand there is a product and there is a need in the market. So this is something that really attracted me to be part of this journey. And Proptech itself, when I first spoke about it with friends and some family that involved in the real estate industry, I understand that the Proptech, it's actually something that it was so early that people even couldn't define what is Proptech, property technology, but what exactly it means, which also make me feel that I want to explore this and understand much better and to be, one of the people that, the go-to people that you go and ask what is Proptech and what's the way that I see the industry is developing and even what's the boundaries for Proptech. And I have to say that, so far it's a broad, I would say, a broad description of what is Proptech, because it's really, if you're talking about the real estate world, it's a huge world. We're talking about the biggest asset class in value in the world. So if you think about real estate and the way to define it, it starts, from infrastructures, transactions, building itself and many other things that surrounding it. So it's really hard to define it. And if it's hard to define it, it means that it's even more challenging. And once it's more challenging, I think it's part of the reason that I'm into this industry.
Right. It's not just going into an emerging industry, but it's actually being able to help define it and help categorize it, classify it, define
Definitely.
its boundaries, and
Exactly.
sort of this blue ocean that's possible here. And so where are we at today? You're saying that we're still very early on. We do have some really interesting startups that are emerging. I'm personally involved with Viv and Genda, but I'm curious to hear a little bit about, what are the different ways in which you see this industry booming now, and how is this going to impact the way that we live our life in the next years, in the coming years?
Yeah. So as I said before, I think it's a very young industry, but you mentioned Viv and there is a few others that are already unicorns. So we start seeing, in the recent years, some companies that really reach to the $1 billion company. But we still see most of them come from the early stage. And maybe start selling maybe a bit more. There are, I would say tens, that's already reached to the 100 million mark value company. But we are in the early beginning. And I think that the more that we have in Israel and abroad companies that people who like you come from A200 or A1 units into the Proptech industry, we can say that, people actually prefer the Proptech on the cyber, on the fintech as well. And we start seeing this trend already. I can tell that in the last year, I start seeing people come from the unit that you been in before in the army. And I think that this is a good sign. I think that also we need to have people from the founders from the logistics that actually understand the build words much better than others. I think that in the US, it's a bit more progress, I would say. I see companies that are already selling the product and they have revenues of around $20-30 million, which is a fair amount for a startup. And I think that also a trend that I been able to find out about in my last trip to New York is that real estate companies, the biggest one, by the way, and the real estate fund are starting to recruit CTOs. And, once you see CTOs as part of these companies, you understand that technology become a strategic initiative for these guys. They're willing to invest money. It's part of the CEO strategy. And little by little, you'll start seeing more and more companies that is part of this journey. And I think that this is a great news for all of us. I'm looking forward to meet these guys in this real estate fund and companies and make sure, that what I've been told is that's the trend. And if it is, we are in a very good position to jump, and be able to develop more and more companies, successful companies that come from the Proptech and not only from cyber and fintech.
I love it. Reality Group and Reality Ventures within Reality Group. Let's dive into that.
So Reality Group is a real estate fund. Today's the biggest group of real estate funds in Israel. I have to say that, they did this journey they've been very modest, below the radar, didn't try to, to shoot everywhere and to have the shotgun approach, what they call. They was very professional of what they're doing. And they become, without anybody noticed, the biggest one in Israel. They also have 6 equity funds, 1 debt fund, and a few funds in Germany. And Reality Proptech is actually the way of Reality Fund to be innovative, to be involved in the Proptech itself. And in the end of the day, it definitely can contribute to the top and bottom line, which is, every business has wanted to be part of his company or what he's doing. But I think that it's include many others elements and objectives other than being profitable and to increase the top line. And I think that in the journey that we did in the last 2 years, Reality proved that, they put their money where their mouth is, because you can tell that we have few startups that already been part of our journey. As Reality been a design partner for these startups, we're investing in these startups. I think that in general, I would say that part of the role that I have, that I believe that I have, or part of the mission that I have, is to nurture the ecosystem, to make sure that the ecosystem of founders, startups, and real estate players understand each other, helping each other, supporting each other, because the journey is something that both of them have to go through, But when you think about that in the industry, it's much easier it's not easier at all to run a startup, but it's much easier or less harder to penetrate to a software company with a cyber solution than to penetrate as a company into a real estate fund or real estate company with a Proptech solution. you're talking about usually two different generation, many different in the mentality. And in the end of the day, you're looking on the real estate industry as a very successful one that it's profitable for many, many years. So, you're asking yourself, and I'm asking also myself and my friends, why to change? You have to make sure that you find a sense of urgency in this company and the need to change, the urge to change. Otherwise, they won't purchase your product. And on the other hand, you understand that these companies are very successful. So you really have to be laser focused of what you're doing. And I think that my role is help all these sides around the table understand each other and make sure that in the end of the day, it will be a win-win situation for all of them.
And is it natural for when you're looking at consistent results and, real estate has been relatively, a good investment and considered a pretty long-term one. And here you're introducing venture capital and you're introducing startups, regardless of whatever industry they're in, they're venture-backed startups, which means go big or go home, right? So how do you find the balance with this type of mentality? Obviously, there's ways to de-risk, but still it's a VC company, so there's risk. How do you balance that with a larger, sort of global mindset of what real estate represents?
Yeah. So, first of all, as I said before, no company wants to change unless it has to change, unless there is a sense of urgency.
Sure.
So I think that the COVID pandemic was part of, a sense of urgency that companies in the real estate industry understand that they have to do the changes in order to be, to stay in the business and be profitable again. But I think it's, as in any company and also in Proptech, you have to find day after day what exactly the things that make these real estate companies feel that they need to change and they need to adopt your solution because it can bring some benefits that they wasn't aware about before or wasn't able to observe in the past. So it's a daily challenge that me and mainly the startup by themselves have to face and have to make sure that they can find what the points that the real estate companies need to change in. And also, on the other hand, I have to work closely with the real estate developers and landlords and property managers, and to make sure that they understand that the journey of a startup is a long journey, and they have to support them and not try to observe all the benefits or getting all the benefits at once. If they, as much as they will cooperate, the startup will be successful. So it's tied together. So I think that, as I said before, once you have a CTO in these companies, it's definitely changed the way that the real estate companies look on startups and let them, get into their business. And I'm not, on any way, I'm not downgrading the fear and the concern that the real estate guys have. These guys are running a very successful business. On the other hand, with low margins, and they don't want to lose their business. It's really understandable what they're trying to achieve, and hence we have to make sure that once we provide a solution, it's a working solution that not jeopardize their core business. And in the end of the day, all the sides that involve are benefits.
I love it. Tell me about long-term vision. Where do you see your vision for Proptech, vision for reality ventures, for your own journey? Talk to me about what's keeping you up at night about this journey.
It's a big question. So let's try, as you said, to divide it. So for the Proptech, I think that my vision is that, as the same revolution that we have with the fintech and automobile, that 10, 15 years ago, nobody believed that part of the digital bank will be part of our life, as well as Tesla or other automobile companies, that drive by itself or even semi-autonomic. And even, the cars, the one who don't have Tesla can feel that if you compare to the cars that we have 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it's uncomparable.
Completely.
I just
100%.
I just recalled, my wife called me when I was traveling and said, there is like 20 alarms at once in the car that's saying, that any system is not working. And you think about it, you're saying, yeah, it's the battery. But when you think it deeply, you understand that there's so many systems in the car now depend on electricity and on, our digital systems as well. And if you're not part of, these companies, you don't know how to solve the problem. So I think the same thing is going to happen in Proptech. I think that we're going to involve digital solutions as part of, at the beginning, part of, I would say, the peripheral real estate, not exactly the core solutions, but, in transactions, in everything that is not actually changing the way that we build building will change dramatically in the next 5 years. And I believe that in the next 10 years, we'll see also big change in the core of the real estate industry, of the way that we building buildings, the way that we renovating and so on. The same as we saw in other industry. I think that for Reality Proptech, part of this, I believe it will be part of this journey. As I said before, I see our role as the one who have to nurture the ecosystem to become a melting pot for this ecosystem, to make sure that real estate companies and startups are talking in the same language, understand each other, and flourish together. And I believe that in I would say 4 or 5 years, we definitely will be there. I can see the progress in the last 2 or 3 years, and I believe that it will be the same for the next years as well. And for myself, I just want to be in a position to be part of it. That's it, because I really believe in this area, and I truly enjoy being with these amazing entrepreneurs. And also with smart real estate guys that know how to do business.
I love it. Sounds like a great vision on both fronts. And I really appreciate not only these 20 minutes, which I very much do because I know how busy you are, but really the way that you live your career, the way you connect the dots. I'm taking us back to the beginning of the conversation, talking about passion and talking about embracing challenges and new opportunities as the most exciting piece of this puzzle. And it's very evident, throughout your career, how you've been able and willing to make these transitions and leaps of faith. And obviously now with Proptech, and I imagine with many more years, there will be more also newer industry that will pop up that will pique your interest. So thank you for that inspiration. Wishing you best of luck with Reality Ventures. And I look forward to keeping in touch, and thank you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.